and go into the grocery store, which I have to do. I don't
Right.
have anybody to go for me. And so I'm much more worried about that than I am about coming in here and staying far away from all of you people. But what do you, I mean, let's talk about that. How is that for all of you?
I'm willing. I don't see a problem with it.
I just think the quality is so much better when we come in that, I mean, if we really had to, but at least through Easter, I think we need to come in. That's my theory.
We
If you can
spent
get-
about 30 or 40 minutes this morning trying to record from the piano to the computer using 2 or 3 different methods, and it was never good.
Mm.
So from my standpoint, it would make more sense for me to record it separately and send it to whoever needs it to sing to or to listen to, or, you know, just record it separately, not using Zoom, and provide it electronically if we need to go that route, as opposed to using Zoom for the music.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea because from what I could tell with just doing a test with my camera on my computer, it looked pretty decent, but the quality of this isn't that good. So,
And the sound cuts in and out a lot when you're trying to record because you're doing a continuous feed of sound instead of a start and stop talking kind of thing. So it just doesn't, it was not good. So
okay. So we're in agreement?
Yeah, and I think it's disconcerting to have the mouth and the sound off.
Yeah.
And it really is, yeah.
Ken, you okay with that?
Yes. Deb, would you check? I'm trying to join on my laptop. See if that. See if you've got another request to join.
Okay, hang on.
There you are.
Mike is up for coming in as needed.
Okay. Oh, I lost Bill.
Where you go?
Bill, are you still there?
Hello, hello, hello. Sorry, I'm testing. Hello, hello, hello.
Well, Ken's here.
Yep.
I don't see Bill at all.
No.
His line must have dropped, which of course is the risk. Are you hearing all of us? You're being so quiet.
I'm okay with coming to the sanctuary and doing it there. I will be preaching after Easter, and then after me will be Stephanie. And we just need, if, you know, at any point we could not be able to do that. So I'm just listening to what Bill is saying, and if we have to do something, it sounds like we need to continue that conversation about what will be best for us later.
Yeah.
Well, and it could be, I mean, worst case is we drop the music and go back to just recording a sermon and posting a sermon, which is what some people are doing who have difficulty with all of this. And that's not so hard to do. Alma, you probably could do it on your iPhone because you have a good one.
Mm-hmm.
And you could read the scripture yourself and record a sermon and then send it in or upload it somewhere. And Gail could pick it up, or Gail or Deb could pick it up. And that's not the preference, but
Yeah.
that would be the drop back position, I think.
Right. Yeah.
However we can do it.
And Stephanie will need to have the same capability.
Yes.
Right.
So do you have a good phone, Stephanie? I have an iPhone 5. Mine's not great.
I have a Samsung 6.
That's not bad.
Yeah, that I would think would work.
So, I mean, the other thing would be to actually try to do this complicated thing together, which I mean, if we can't get good quality music, I say don't put music in. I mean, I hate bad music. I love music and I hate bad music, you know, when it's
Yeah, nothing's worse than a tinny piano.
jerky, jumpy, and
yeah.
can't sing to it. And so, I mean, what do you think, Ken and Bill?
I totally agree. Like I said, I could record anything you want separately and it would be a decent recording
Yeah.
and send it to whoever, and then it could be used however you wanted to use it. But I don't think doing it through this mechanism is going to work for us.
Right.
Or I could also go to the church and be 30 feet away from the sound room and record it there with some, with Mike or whoever, and
Right.
do the same thing, whatever. So
But what I don't want to do is create a great deal of work for Deb and Gail when they we really don't have experience doing this.
right.
I mean, we may not even have the software we need. What do you think, Deb? I mean, do you have what you need to put things together in that way?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I just use the free software on Windows 10. And it's not as good as the old software, I don't think, but it works. I mean, you can put in a title, you can put text on, you can do all kinds of things with it. And if we had to, we could always buy a better, video editing, but I just don't think that's really what I want to do with my time if I don't.
I mean, it could take you hours and hours to do
Yeah.
that. I would be more inclined to drop back to not having music for a few weeks until we can be back together than to create a monster that, you have to paste together from 4 different sources.
Yeah.
So,
So if I do my recording, what would I need to do next?
You could share it through the cloud, or we could just all get Dropbox accounts and we could stick everything in Dropbox, and then I could just pick it up and edit it.
Okay, because my problem is that half of what you're saying I cannot understand, because I'm very limited in my technology knowledge. So I realize that I will need help.
Right.
Because I know how to do the recording on my cell phone, and beyond that, I will need like a step-by-step thing for whatever will be next.
Yeah, we can do that. But if it comes to that, we can show you how to do it. But maybe for the time being, since we're all in agreement, we're just going to come in on Fridays. I think that's the best.
Mm-hmm.
At least through Easter.
Yeah.
Maybe Alma, try recording, record yourself reading some chapters of scripture or something. Put it on your iPhone, and then you upload it, Deb, when you were done in the sanctuary? I mean, where does it go? Does it go straight to YouTube and then you edit it on YouTube, or you edit it first and then you load it to YouTube? How does that work?
Well, okay, so now we're just taking the entire service and uploading it to YouTube. But I was, before we shut the sanctuary down, I would take it home and I would just edit out everything except the scripture and the sermon, put a title on it, then save it to my computer and then upload it.
Okay.
So
if all we had was a scripture and a sermon, and Alma did both of those parts, then all you would do is put a title on. So then
Right.
We just need to find a place for her to put it.
Right.
Google Drive or Dropbox.
Right.
Dropbox is just a service that you use for big files. And
Okay.
But a video is a huge file, so.
Uh-huh.
Can be even.
I have my sermon that I did for Boom, for the Board of Ordained Ministry, recorded on my cell phone, for example. I did it in the sanctuary, and I recorded it with my cell phone. I have that one. And my daughter had to help me do the YouTube thing and then posting it so that Boom could have it. So if I have step-by-step directions, I'm going to try to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
We won't do that unless we have to, but you know, that may be something, maybe by Friday, Deb, you could think that through and give her some directions and she could try it and just see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that,
Actually, you could, you know, if we do decide to just do the sermon and the scripture, you could just load it right to YouTube and then we could just send the link from there. We could just stop a step.
okay.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Alright,
I'll get something together.
okay.
Thank you. It might not needed, but just in case.
Yeah,
I find this, I mean, I'm watching, like when Alma is on the screen, the movement is really jerky. And I assume that there's a data speed problem or something. I really don't want to use this technology if we don't.
no,
You know what I'm saying?
this would be my last choice, I think. So, yeah, like I said, if we can continue to
Yeah.
come in, and I think it's starting to sound like this is going to go through June. So,
I think so.
Canceled school
yeah, they're done with school.
for the school year, so.
It's going to be hard for here at home, for example. My husband is working from home now. They don't allow them to work from the conference. My son is doing the last months of high school also online. I can imagine things are going to be challenging.
You're probably gonna need a good router and good upload speed.
Just for fun, Deb, can you start recording and then just capture a bunch of us talking and then maybe have Ken sing a little bit and have
Yep.
they'll play.
Plan.
Let's just see what happens with that.
Yep, it is recording.
Okay. Ken, sing. You're muted, so it won't work.
He's muted.
Then let him sing. He's muted.
Is he? Where is he?
He is muted. I'm sorry. How'd you get muted?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I lift my eyes up to the mountain. Where does my help come from?
Guitar sounds awful.
My help comes from you, maker of heaven,
It's a big.
creator of the
So it must be a computer or a tablet.
Oh, how I need you, Lord. You are my only hope.
Because it
That's good. That's
looks like
recorded,
it's
right?
this.
It's not coming through really well
No, it's not.
through my speakers.
Yeah.
Let's say, Bill, do you have a piano and can you sing if you were leading it him?
It would be the same thing. Like I said, we spent, and my buddy's here, and we spent 45 minutes this morning testing
Okay.
back and forth and trying several different things. And he said it was the same problem. Now,
Okay.
just now, Ken's voice came through okay, but
It
the
did, but
guitar
it-
was not,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
So, and that's what the piano was doing. It cuts in and out.
Okay.
Mhm.
We just really probably don't want to do music through Zoom.
Well, I don't think so.
Sure,
Yeah.
I want them to see my hair.
Oh, do we have a camera now?
The camera's coming.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
That's so exciting.
We're waiting with bated
What
It's
we,
my husband.
what we can do though is, if you want to continue to have some of the meetings, I mean, like trustees and, well, so maybe if you can get enough people who could do this, it would be worth having the meetings that way.
Yes. We're going to try a staff meeting next Wednesday, not tomorrow, but a week from, touch base with each other. So I'm going to set one up next week. Oh, there she is. Where's her
That's
face?
my top.
There I am. See, look at here.
That's cute. I like that.
Thank you.
That was worth the wait. We're all gonna have long, long hair, aren't we?
Yeah, really, my bangs are like down to my chin.
My gray is showing.
Yeah, but they did say that hair salons are considered an essential business, so we can
Yeah,
get.
everybody's looking pretty shaggy.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Oh, hello, dog.
Yeah, that's Bixby.
Hi, Bixby.
Bill's muted. And he's talking. Unmute Bill.
He's tired of being ignored.
What about, we were hoping that we could maybe do other things like classes, like Stephanie's class, for example, or my CCM training. Is this supposed to have the webinar
Yes.
mode? And
Yes.
It's got the webinar and it's really cool. You can do breakout rooms. So
Uh-huh.
like the alpha class, you know how we are all sitting around tables and we stayed at those tables every week? We could have done breakout rooms like that. So we could have discussed the video in the breakout rooms and then come back to finish up the class or whatever. It's got some really cool capabilities. It's just a matter of having to learn them and all get used to them.
Well, I think I would like to try a class. I mean, I think it's a little disconcerting to have, I mean, it's just, we'll just have to get used to it. But I thought maybe life journaling would be one because it's so simple that we could do that. I could contact somebody who did that before and just ask them if they want to do a trial. But we'll do that after. Not right now.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea, and it's, you know, a great idea if you want to continue meetings and stuff after people have left. I mean,
Yeah.
we can Zoom in and all get together if we have something we have to discuss. I think it's a great idea.
Bill, you were talking a minute ago, but you were muted. Did you have something to say?
No, I was saying something. I've got a friend here, and I was saying something to him. I didn't want to get in the way.
Oh,
But
you were
while I have the
muted.
floor, just a real quick thing. I was in my living room by the piano. I have poor Wi-Fi, and so I actually got kicked off the meeting about 20 minutes ago, and I
Oh,
had to walk into the other room and reconnect. So again, I have similar issues, I guess, that Pastor Alma does. So my Wi-Fi is just not good. So
Mine
it never
isn't either.
goes.
I may have to upgrade mine if we have to do anything from my house. I'm in the office this morning trying to get us all ready to close down. But I have the lowest level of Wi-Fi at my home, which is fine for me normally, but I might have to upgrade if we.
I'm thinking, yeah, mine is probably the lowest as well, and it's bad sometimes. So
Yeah.
I have 150 MIPS, and sometimes I still lose the signal. So, and we've got mesh routers that we just replaced, so it should be good. But still, I mean, it still cuts in and out. So,
Well, your voice and your image are clearer than anybody else on
Yeah.
this meeting.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They just-
And there's a learning curve regarding where the light source is as well. So if the light is behind you, we tend to get a lot of glare. Gail's got a pretty glary
Yes, I do.
space because the window is behind her. So as I'm going to be teaching some lessons and things from here, I'm actually going to change the position of the piano so that the light is still coming towards me.
yeah.
The other thing that we found out because everybody is suddenly using this a lot, that there is, when you send the invitation, a place for a password, which protects you from having other people jump onto it. And there has been some instances of people jumping onto calls and being inappropriate and
Yes.
showing body parts and things like that. So good idea, probably, if we're going to do this regularly, to have a password. And then
Okay.
you just publish it in the invitation.
Yeah, and that's easy to do. And Ken, what I was going to say is I'm sitting facing the window. I'm like right a foot from the window.
Uh-huh.
And so I've got a really good light source in front of me. That's,
Your image is very crisp. I mean,
It is.
you know,
Mine's
everything-
behind me.
Yeah.
So,
And I'm sure that the newness of the laptop or phone or whatever has something to do with
yeah,
that. This sound quality as well.
yeah. Yeah, this one's probably a little over a year old. So somebody gave me an all-in-one desktop. So it's pretty decent computer. I like it. So anyway,
Well, thank you all for coming together, and thank you for inviting us. And now the rest of us have to figure out how to convene a meeting and that kind of stuff. But I sent out the tech copy, so you should have it, at least the draft. And then Jody will send out the final one before the end of the day. There's a lot of reading, so if you want to put all of it up on the screen, it's going to take a while. So,
okay,
okay,
programming this week, so
okay.
working on it.
All right. I tried to put everything in, like, you know, there's some, because we're going to read the story of Jesus' death. There's some places where we want to pause, and at the end of it, we want to pause and maybe have a picture of the cross, just so there's a moment of reflection, and then Ken's going to sing "Were You There?" And then when that's done, we want we take that same cross and put it back up again, just so that there's a little space in there for people to be quiet and think about what we're talking about. So,
Okay.
All right.
We'll figure it out.
All right.
So, and Bill, I just sent you the email that has the sheet music that you asked for, so you should have it.
And I was multitasking and looked at it and sent you a reply.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay, so 9 o'clock on Friday again? Is
That's
that
it.
when we're gonna get together?
That works for me.
okey dokey.
Okay, we'll see you then.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.